Okay, today we're going to talk about how to plan a house hunting trip to Savannah, Georgia. If you're planning a move to Savannah, one of the biggest mistakes we see people make is showing up for a house hunting trip without a plan. Savannah is not laid out like most cities. Neighborhoods can feel completely different, even if they're just 2 minutes apart. Flood zones matter. Commute routes matter, and if you try to see everything in one weekend, you're gonna leave more confused than when you arrived. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how to plan a smart house hunting trip to Savannah, Georgia, so you can leave with clarity and hopefully a home. If you're planning a visit, we wanna help you narrow down neighborhoods before you come. So my team and I at the Harris Home Team, we help relocation buyers all the time. This is our specialty. Okay, I'm gonna break this down into some steps. So step one is I want you to understand the Savannah geography before you arrive. Before you ever book a flight or start scheduling showings, it helps to understand how Savannah is laid out. One of the first decisions people make before they even realize they're making it is whether they want to live in Savannah proper or one of the surrounding counties like Bryan County or Effingham County. Some buyers already know they want the Savannah lifestyle, historic neighborhoods, walkability, and being close to downtown, while others are looking for something quieter or more rural, and that's sometimes where Bryan County and Effingham County become a part of the conversation. And then you have places like Pooler, which is going to sit just west of Savannah, has a ton of new construction and planned communities. And so some people want that. So once people decide roughly where they want to be and geographically, the neighborhood decisions get much easier. Savannah is not one big uniform city. It's a collection of very different areas with very different lifestyles. Okay, step two, we want to narrow your search to 2 or 3 areas. One of the biggest mistakes I see is that people make when they're house hunting is that they're trying to see the entire city in 2 days. And it really just never works. Instead, I'm going to recommend narrowing your search to 2 or 3 areas before you arrive. For instance, buyers looking for historic charm might compare Ardsley Park to the Victorian District to the Historic District. Those neighborhoods all offer beautiful homes and architectural details that are super interesting, and they all have their own personality. However, buyers who are really focused on great public schools are often going to spend a lot of time looking at Wilmington Island or maybe Bryan and Effingham County. And people who want newer homes might be comparing Pooler, Bryan County, or Effingham County. Each of these offers a completely different lifestyle. So if you try to tour 10 neighborhoods in one weekend, everything will start to blend together. Savannah just has too many unique pockets for that approach to work. Okay, so step 3 is understanding your commute. This is another important step when you're planning a house hunting trip to Savannah, is understanding your commute. So if you already know where you're going to be working, this is going to be much easier. Savannah has several major employment hubs, and a lot of people relocating here are working at places like Gulfstream, the hospitals, Hunter Army Airfield, or even Fort Stewart. That's a couple counties south of us, but some people choose to live in Savannah. And then of course we're seeing people move here for Hyundai and the Meta plant. Where you live in Savannah can make a great big difference depending on which direction you're commuting. So one thing I always recommend is this. When you're visiting Savannah, actually drive your commute route during the time that you'd normally travel. Try it at 8 a.m., try it at 5 p.m. That simple step will tell you a lot about whether a neighborhood is going to work for your daily life. Okay, step 4, we've talked about it before, we're going to talk about it again. Pay attention to flood zones. This is a very Savannah-specific tip. Not every home in Savannah is in a flood zone, but some are, especially closer to marsh areas or to the coast. The 2 flood zones you'll most commonly see here are going to be the AE flood zone and the X flood zone. And just because a home is in a flood zone doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem. Many homes here have been here for decades with no problems, but flood zones can affect your insurance costs, and that's something you'll want to understand before you fall in love with a house. The good news, though, is that if you fall in love with something with a flood zone, you can absolutely ask us what we think the estimated cost is going to be. We can get that for you. Or you can tell us we absolutely don't want to see any houses with a flood zone ever, and we can exclude them. It's a very normal request. So step 5 is going to be experience Savannah when you're here. One of my favorite pieces of advice is this: don't spend every minute of your Savannah house hunting trip inside houses. Savannah is very much a lifestyle city. So while you're here, take the time to experience some of the things that make people fall in love with living here. So visit the Forsyth Farmers Market on Saturday morning. Walk down Broughton Street and explore some historic squares. Visit the Bonaventure Cemetery and catch some live music downtown. And if you have time, drive out to Tybee for a sunrise. Sometimes people fall in love with Savannah itself during that visit, and that can actually help them realize what part of the city actually feels like home. So next step is going to be step 6. Pay attention to daily life. So when you're exploring neighborhoods in Savannah, I always recommend driving through more than once. So drive through the city at different times of day. If you're really considering a particular neighborhood, see what that neighborhood looks like at 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m. 3 p.m. is particularly important if there's a school nearby, so drive through during school pickup time. It can completely change how traffic and activities feel in that area. Also check practical things like where's the grocery store? Where's the pharmacy? Think about all the normal errands you're going to run on a regular basis and where they are in relation to the neighborhood. Okay, step 7. Please, 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 if you hear one thing in this video, come to Savannah house hunting with a financing plan in place. There's many different ways you can finance a house. You can get a traditional mortgage, you can pay for it with cash, it can be contingent on the sale of the home from wherever you're coming from, but we need to know your plan. And the reason is simple. Sometimes homes sit here for a little while on the market, but other times, especially well-priced homes, they are going to move really quickly. And it is not unusual for a relocation buyer to actually go under contract during their visit if they're prepared. If you don't already have a lender lined up or you don't have a financing plan in place, that's something we help with all the time at the Harris Home Team. We can connect you with great local Savannah lenders who understand things like our tax code, the flood insurance here in Savannah, and what relocation buyers really need. Okay, now here's your bonus tip. This is actually what I did when I moved to Savannah. So some buyers actually move here first. I know that seems kind of wild, but something we see fairly often with relocation clients is that some people move to Savannah first and house hunt later. So from wherever they are in the country, they'll rent a furnished place, sell their home, and put all their furniture into storage. They'll move here, start their jobs, bring their dogs and cats, and then spend some time getting to know the city before they buy. So this approach works really well for people who want to experience Savannah before making a long-term decision. So we can help you find a short-term rental. It's an exceptional way to be very confident that you're buying in the right place. When I moved to Savannah from Los Angeles, my husband and I stayed on Burnside Island for 3 months before we bought our Ardsley Park home. And it was great because we didn't have any pressure. We got to know the area. We were absolutely certain we were working with the right realtor and the right lender. It really worked well for us. So that's always a possibility. And then when we bought our house, we had all of our furniture from California delivered to our new home. So if you're planning a move to Savannah and you're starting to think about a house hunting trip, feel free to reach out to us at the Harris Home Team. In the comments, we'll have all of our team information so you can reach right out to us. We help relocation buyers with this all the time. So whether that means helping you narrow down the right neighborhood, connect with a trusted local lender, or plan a really efficient house hunting trip, we're here. We've also created a free relocation guide called New to 912, which will walk you through Savannah neighborhoods, the cost of living, and a lot of things newcomers wish they knew before moving here. So you can download that at newto912.com. I'll also link that below. And if Savannah is on your radar, we'd love to help you make the move.